Good morning. I thought I would just record this. I never started at the beginning. Um, this project is probably going to turn out to be a project that is made out of nothing but garbage, excluding um, this love cutout. I bought this in a dollar store. It hung on my wall like, I don't know, over a year trying to figure out what to do with it. Recently I was working with some joint compound. And you know how you put the joint compound in the container, and I basically waited until it dried so that I could crack it up and throw it away. So as I was cracking it up, I was looking at it and I said, oh, these probably make like good boulders for a miniature scene, something. So I decided to keep them. And I kept them in here. And then you'll see that very fine sediment that is also, I don't know, this joint compound broken down, I guess. I don't know. I was working with paper clay and maybe mixing some joint compound in the paper clay or some base relief, trying to work with joint compound. Anyway, this was stuff that I was going to throw away. I decided to keep it. And now I am putting it on this sign. And I think it's actually going to turn out pretty neat. So let's see what it ends up looking like. Just wanted to record some before so that I can show some after. Okay, I've basically gone around the edges and placed the sediment around the edges and in the nooks and crannies just to cover it so that you don't see the brown of the wood and that it looks more complete. This is what I have left over. This is how the start of making these chips. It's easy if you have a plastic container that is somewhat pliable. So depending on how thick you want your chips, you spread it out. This hasn't been spread out yet. I'll probably mix some of this in that to make it a little bit more rough and textured. So you spread it out. You can spread it along the sides of the container, the bottom, and you let it thoroughly dry. Just put it away for a couple of days or whatever. I would not suggest trying to rush it. Just forget about it for a couple of days. And then when you come back to it, you can start expanding the sides of the container. And then the drywall compound should crack off the sides. And then you have your chips. You can make them as large or as small as you want. And you can use them in projects such as this. You can see some of these chips are a little bit pink. I was using something or maybe inadvertently had a color in there, but I like this color. And it does look kind of like a stone. So I was trying to, get different colors of stone. And this is what I came up with. And even on the, as you take it up, the bottom side of the chips will have like a smooth marbled appearance, like this green here. Obviously I had some green in the container. So if you want to make stuff out of garbage, which you're really going to just throw away, this is a way to make boulders and stones for your miniature work. Okay? Or just in your crafts and your arts in general. I will show this to you later once it is thoroughly done. Be careful that you really, if you're going to do something like this, make sure you cover your corners well, because as this dries, it will shrink and then it will expose the wood underneath. So make sure you have a good layer of the joint compound. You might have to go over it a couple of times. Keep looking at it every couple of hours until it's really dry. It should dry in 24 hours. And then I'll move on to the next step. Okay, this is the final entry on this video. I am going to say that this is basically done. I let it dry for 24 hours. This morning I came and gave it a protective coat so that everything would stay in place and be married together. Now, what did I use? I've always been wanting to experiment to see if I could make something that was similar to Mod Podge. And in my mind, I had Elmer's glue and some polyurethane clear satin. So I mixed like a 1:4 ratio, 1 part polyurethane, 3 parts glue, and mixed it well. Now, if you let it sit, it's going to separate. The yellow is the polyurethane and the white is the glue. But if you shake it and you mix it well, it will mix. So I use that on this. It is not totally dry, but I'd say it's 75% dry. And I also used it on, let's see if I can find it, as a tester. I used it on this little face yesterday. So it does have somewhat of a sheen, but it's not, it's kind of, yeah, like a satin sheen, I would say. So you still get the slight sheen of the polyurethane. I don't know why I tried it. I guess, I wanted to stretch the Mod Podge to see if I could make something similar. So we shall see in the long run how this plays out. You know me, I'm always experimenting. So this is done. I don't know, I actually had a title for this piece. I was going to call it Love is Rough at Times. And if you look at this love sign, it is indeed rough, physically rough, with jagged edges and pieces sticking out, and not your typical light and airy and lacy and cherubic and lovely love. And I was thinking about all the different types of love that we experience or we go through or that we find ourselves in. And a lot of times love is rough and it is difficult to get through, and it's not that easy, but in the end, it's worth it. You do end up being chipped off at times, running into jagged edges, taking 2 steps backwards, but it really does pay off in the end. And when you think about the ultimate sacrifice, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ and the ultimate sacrifice that he paid all for us because he loved us. It's all worth it. So love is, yes, it is rough at times. That's only one aspect of love. There's so many different aspects of love. But I just like the way that this solidified that thought for me. Okay. I hope this helped someone. In another video, I'll show how I made these little rocks or boulders if anyone's really interested. I will make a quick video about it. All right. Have a great one. Bye.